Well, it's a good afternoon here from Rye, New York, on a chilly afternoon, but the temperature is hot and rising here for the semi-finals of the 2013 Briggs Cup at the Appomattox Club. And first match on court is D.MUDGE against B.GOULD, the number 1 seeds, playing Y.BADAN and M.MATHUR, the number 4 seeds. Exciting prospect and a repeat of the semi-finals of the Briggs Cup in 2011. Joining me in the commentary box, again, Mark Challoner.
Hi, Chris.
How you doing?
Very good, very good.
And an exciting prospect, this first match, Mark.
Yeah, well, based on 2 years ago in this same position, then Manic and Swish actually got a win over the two big Aussies, which was it's one of the rare occasions that they've actually been overturned. So they'll be looking to repeat the performance, and naturally Mudge and Gould will be looking to reverse their fortune from 2 years ago. I mean, they've played them in a couple of events in the meantime, and pretty much 9 out of 10 it's gone the Australians' way. So all in all, it's the outcome in my mind is looking as though it's going to be favouring the Australians, but you never can write these two off.
That's right. So the biggest tournament of the year, and because it's such a big tournament, over $100,000 in prize money. The Briggs Cup is competed every 2 years, so you're absolutely right. Mudge and Gould will be looking for revenge. They will still have probably a bit of a bitter taste in their mouth after losing to Manic and Swiss in the semis 2 years ago. So on the left wall here we see M.MATHUR warming up with his partner Y.BADAN. Big left-hander. What are we going to be looking for in the course of this match from both of these players?
Well, Manic's going to be looking to keep pushing forwards. He'll be trying to stand in front of the red line across the middle of the court there, so that he can intercept any volleys that come his way. One of his favourite shots is the overhead cross-court volley nick and volley reverse, actually. So you'll see him firing away at that, and more often than not he hits it, in which case he's going to put the big tall Aussies under a lot of pressure. But they're very agile and they're athletic and they move around the court very well. So, you know, there's going to be some awesome retrieving. And but I think Manic overall is the danger in this team on the Australians' point of view. So,
with D.MUDGE just coming on court there and B.GOULD, we can see the tops of their heads about to take over, getting their eye in. With Damien and Ben, what, in your opinion, do you think is going through their mind?
Well, I think they're going to, you know, obviously yesterday they had an awesome performance against myself. And,
anyway, I've never seen them play better, to be honest.
No, that's they've obviously hit a rich vein of form. Not good timing for us, but you know that's the way it goes. But I'm sure they'll be looking to carry that forwards to today, and if they get the same kind of start as they did against us yesterday, then they're going to be feeling very, very solid, very confident, and well focused. They didn't make any kind of silly mistakes. The choice of shots were pretty impeccable, actually, and the execution of the shots also, because they kept the ball in play for the whole time. So, I mean, if they keep it that way, then they're going to be tough to beat, no question.
And we see D.MUDGE on the left and B.GOULD on the right as they're warming up. Just have a look at the route that they've taken through to the semi-finals today. And in the first match, the round of 16, they played Carl Baglio and Randy Lim. Carl Baglio, New York-based pro, and Randy Lim also just outside of New York, actually in Greenwich, Connecticut. Followed by victory over yourself, Mark, and Imran Khan in the quarterfinals in 3 games, and then M.MATHUR and Y.BADAN, they came through having played Graham Bassett and Ian Power. Ian Power being the brother of Jonathan Power, who a lot of singles specialists and fans out there will know, beating them in the first round, in the round of 16, and then in the quarterfinals yesterday, beating James Stout and Greg MacArthur. So as they spin their rackets for the beginning of this, the first semi-final, M.MATHUR and Y.BADAN in blue. Looks like Mudge and Gould are serving. Here we go.
Interesting that Ben's chosen to serve to Y.BADAN first of all, maybe just to put a little bit of a doubt in the mind, thinking that, you know, we just want to show you that we think you're the weakest player on their team.
It makes a big statement, doesn't it? So first blood to the Australians and the #1 seeds.
So we have 3 of the hardest hitting players on court in this match, being Mudge and Gould and M.MATHUR. So we're probably going to see some fairly hefty pace on the ball in this match.
I think you're right. It's going to be exciting, and hopefully the audio will be picked up for you guys listening out there streaming. But initially the ball being moved around the court a little bit more.
Awful
the height.
Yeah, awful players currently at pretty much in front of that red line, as we mentioned before. Oh, Ben couldn't get out of the way of that one.
That's unusual. I've not seen Ben unable to get out the way of a Damien Mudge cross court.
I mean, he hasn't got the biggest legs in the world.
They're quite narrow, aren't they? He just forgot to lift them off the ground at that point. So Y.BADAN getting a lot of the ball at this point, but defending well, using some good height on the front wall. And there's that pace you're talking about.
Fantastic pace there by
M.MATHUR loosening up that forehand.
Oh,
I think the ball nearly took the camera out there.
Everyone in the crowd's okay.
Don't want to be getting in the way of a back wall, even a back wall boast from M.MATHUR. That's a bit concerning. Hopefully the crowd are below the line of the glass court there. Manic covering Ivan there at the back of the court, working efficiently together as a team.
Absolutely. Good communication between both players is obviously essential. So Manic just absorbing the pace that he's applied to him, lifting the ball.
And he's really cracking it there. Great hand. I think Ben Gould's swing's warmed up now as well.
Yeah. Good coverage.
Just too much pace from Ben Gould in the front right there, as he had a number of options where he wanted to hit that, but the really wide cross court breaking to Manic's feet, avoiding them, and then Y.BADAN unable to cover.
They're playing a lot to Manic's inside hit, so he's having to take the ball on the backhand side, on the left side of the court. It's an interesting tactic.
Makes a lot of sense to keep it away from that forehand, but also still gives Mudge and Gould some options in different shots, and there's another one down the middle.
Just staying in the back corner.
I think if Manic didn't hit that, that was going to hit the front wall again before the second bounce. Well, a fantastic rally, and just 3 all in the first game here. Oh, incredible reactions.
That'll go wild.
I mean, 4-3, and we're in such intensity already. This really promises to be a great game. So do you think the guys' arms are sore at the end of a match like this?
I think it depends how relaxed they are when they're playing. I mean, they're obviously putting a lot of tension into their arms while they're striking the ball at such a huge pace, but because they're used to it, I think unless they overstretch in certain situations or just try too hard, then generally they'll be able, the body will be used to it, so they'll be able to absorb it. I mean, that is at least what I found. But I do see the guys often with ice packs on their shoulders or elbows.
Yeah.
After the matches. So
I've seen a few.
Great cross-court volley there by B.GOULD.
And that's definitely one of Ben's favourite shots these days. I've seen him play many of those, and I've also noticed him practicing that in the last couple of years and introducing it to his game.
Yeah. I mean, he hits it. Generally, he hits it at pace, so he feels comfortable smashing it in there as opposed to like feeling it. And it's a feel-good shot for him.
And Y.BADAN asking for a let there. I think he caught him on the swing. Apologising.
This is a little tap.
Just to let him know he was there. Well, there's a lot of pace being used at the moment. A lot of balls coming down the middle of the court and all sorts of angles here.
They seem to be working on onto Ben's side a lot more than Damien's, which is quite an interesting tactic. Because a little bit too excitable there, Manic snatching at the ball. It's quite close to the wall and forcing a racket error.
Yeah, so early stages. 5-4 to M.MATHUR B.GOULD.
Cross-court volley, Nick.
Straight off the serve, thank you very much. That's a great shot. 2 shots there from B.GOULD on the right wall, with that both taking M.MATHUR right up to the front and then passing him kind of between the legs. And I think that might be the first error from B.GOULD there. So the first 6 minutes of play, and everyone seems to have kind of settled in. Clearly they're picking, Mudge and Gould are picking on B.GOULD a little bit, and down the middle against Manic, and
Ben just mixed it up into the side, like heavy pace, really wide into the side wall, making it tough for Manic to time his volleys, so forcing the error on that one. Oh,
great recovery there from Y.BADAN, but can't deal with the pace of B.GOULD at the front right again with an incredibly high pace.
Slamming it short with a head banger.
Kill.
I mean, that ball, when Ben takes it off the back wall, it's pretty close to the legs of Swiss when he rolls it around the left side wall onto the front wall. Right, Chris?
It looked like it there. That's why position's so important, isn't it, for Ivan to make sure that he's protecting that front right corner if the ball does go into the back right.
Yeah.
And at that point in that rally, Ivan was in the wrong position. Really, he should have probably crossed to the wall. D.MUDGE covering Ben at the back there, so Ben keeps his position, and that paid off right away because Ben was on that ball very early and injecting more pace against Manic on the left.
On his backhand again, right?
Decisively taking a 10-5 lead in the first game. Oh, difficult to lob the 6'4" Indian, but Mr. Gould managed it there, and
maybe just a misjudgment by Manic. Thought he could jump 3 feet
and only managed 2 foot 10. And just the second error there off of B.GOULD's racket.
So slight lack of concentration here, perhaps, by the younger team, Manic and Swiss, and Mudge and Gould have taken a considerable lead in the first game.
Well, they've got so much experience, haven't they, Mudge and Gould, and so many years now playing both with different partners, but in the last 4 or 5 years playing together and having some incredible runs of victories. I think they've played together for 2 seasons and been completely unbeaten for the whole season, and that's impressive by any standard. So they know how to start well.
Yeah.
And they've certainly done this today.
Distinct change of pace now.
And using the middle of the court again. Just not allowing Mudge and Gould here, just not allowing Manic and Ivan to settle in any way. There's not 2 shots going back to the same place in a row. It's kind of like in the middle, wide angle, down the middle, change the pace.
That's a stinger. That's a point. That one came in a little too wide.
Yeah, that was trying to be creative to make it difficult for Manic, but it was too good for Manic.
Yeah.
And Swiss, Ivan was there. We could call him Swiss because that's his nickname, because he's from India.
Switzerland, surprisingly enough.
Damien Mudge, and again the rally with all sorts of angles and pace being thrown at each pair. There's quite a big rally coming towards the business end of the game. 11-9. And Damien Mudge playing a beautiful backhand drop shot, cross court into the nick there. He's right up at the front wall. And 13-9. 2 points away from clinching the first game for Mudge and Gould.
Oh, lucky reaction there by Ben, just kicking the ball up, but...
You're always going to take them though, aren't you, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, 14-9, game ball, first game.
Great drop shot, Brian.
Fantastic counter drop there from Damien Mudge as he launches to the front court, takes the first game 15-9 in a little under 12.5 minutes of this first semi-final. So a decisive first game for Mudge and Gould, getting that under their belt. 15-9. Mark, what do you do if you're Manik and Ivan right now?
You know, I think they probably had pretty solid tactics there. It seemed to me that they were actually picking on Ben quite a bit more than Damien today. And to be fair, whenever Damien did get a chance to do something in the rally, he made the most of it and took a full advantage. So
yeah.
I think they probably got the tactics pretty right for the most part, I think. Albeit for making some mistakes, that'll be the difference between them right now, I think. Then I'm not sure what else they can change.
I mean, the only thing I thought maybe was getting Ben to the back of the court a little bit more. You know, there's a lot going on in the front and it's all very fast moving, isn't it? And obviously Ben and Damien are being a bit more creative and more successful down the middle. That if they could get the ball deep and maybe on Ben's side a little bit more in the back.
So change the pace, just control the pace a little more.
Yeah, and that would kind of make the court a bit longer for Ben, you know, to get Ben on the run a little bit. Because at the moment, Mudge and Gould are playing so well as a team that they're not really exposed anywhere. I've not seen them stretched under both of them under pressure as much as Ivan and Manik have been.
Yeah.
So here we are, second game, first game to Mudge and Gould, first semi-final, the 2013 Briggs Cup.
Oh, it's a little sloppy by Ben. He didn't really bother to move his feet on that occasion.
A little bit casual, that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And checking the ball, Ben is convinced that the ball was the problem there, because normally that ball, you know, it rolls out the nick when he plays it, right? Can't understand why it wouldn't.
It's not him.
Exactly.
It's not his fault.
But this time apparently it is, because the ball is okay. Great recovery there from Ben Gould, using a lot of height to get more time in the rally to get back into position.
I mean, like you said, they haven't really. That's the first time they've got Ben to move backwards there.
Yeah.
After a good couple of minutes of this second game.
That nearly went out the back of the court. I find it very hard to get Mudge and Gould off of the or into the back corners at the moment.
That would Ben's right in the way there. I mean, he didn't make any effort to move out of the way of that shot. He didn't want to give Swiss the opening on that forehand side, so he could drive the ball straight, potentially for a winner.
That would be called taking one for the team.
Yeah, and he should. To be fair, you know, if Swiss wasn't such a nice guy, he'd have smacked him.
So a little special moment here. I just grabbed a fine, good-looking young gentleman sitting next to me now, Tim Wyant, who has been at the helm of City Squash, which is the not-for-profit urban squash program that the Briggs Cup is raising money for, and has done since its inception.
2002.
2002. Welcome, Timmy.
It's great to be here, Chris. I don't have the charm that Joey Barrington has, or your marvelous British accent, but this is a pleasure.
Timmy, it's a pleasure, and it'd be great for the viewers out there if you could just maybe give us a little update, because you're actually in transition to a new position, which I'm sure you're very excited about.
Yeah, that's right. So City Squash is in its 12th year, and we serve 150 kids from 3rd grade through college seniors. And we were launched in 2002. And as of January 1st, we'll have a new executive director, Terrence Lee. And I'm going to be moving on to run full-time the National Urban Squash and Education Association, NUSIA, which is also based in New York, but which is focused on starting programs like City Squash across the country.
So are we allowed to talk about what this tournament means to City Squash?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is one of the most important events that City Squash runs over the course of the calendar, and it's a great way to profile the organization because it's the largest event in doubles. But it's also introduced us to a whole community of people who love squash and believe in urban squash, and have been loyal supporters of our programs of City Squash since we got started. So many of our board members are people that we've gotten to know through this event, and many of our most active volunteers and mentors and junior board members are people who we were introduced to through the Briggs Cup. Yeah, it's an absolutely magnificent event for our program.
And it's great now that the SDA Pro Tour has got this initiative with PSA Squash TV to be able to live stream the doubles matches and introduce the world community to doubles.
Yeah.
But obviously there's that big link to the next major competition coming to New York in January, the Tournament of Champions.
That's right, yeah, which is also an event that City Squash is a beneficiary of, along with Street Squash and Hardball. You can see that Monic and Swiss, in addition to being sponsored by a number of companies, they're also affiliated with a program in New Haven, Squash Haven, which is on the back of their shirts.
Fantastic.
So yeah, the squash community has been incredibly supportive and enthusiastic about the work of City Squash and our sister programs. It's really just amazing.
Amazing as we see another amazing rally. We've been chatting through here, but Mudge and Gould have been playing some extraordinary doubles.
This is incredible. This squash is absolutely incredible. You know, we brought our students here yesterday, and sometimes you worry that when 9, 10, 11-year-olds watch pro squash, they might not understand it or get into it. And our kids were mesmerized. One of them, a girl named Victoria, was introduced to B.GOULD, and then he introduced her to D.MUDGE, and they got a picture. And so Damien was on one side of her, Ben was on the other, and after the picture was taken, Ben looked at the girl and said, "So Victoria, who's more handsome?" Victoria looked at Ben, you know, all 6 feet 4 inches, then looks at Damien, all 6 feet 4 inches, and just didn't say a word.
And what a
these are imposing physical specimens, Damien and Ben.
Absolutely, and to any junior, they're looking well up to them, I'm sure. What a fantastic story.
Yeah.
And so with your new position, and you're talking about all the other programs that are around this area in you know, the northeastern part of America, but is there a talk of some global domination of introducing this to other places?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're in 15 cities in the U.S., launching in the next couple of years in 3 more cities, in Hartford, in Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh, and we are working on our first project outside of the United States in Cartagena, Colombia. And so Esteban Espinal, who's a longtime squash director at City Squash, is going to be the executive director, and the project is backed, sponsored by Lucia. And we're also going to partner with some existing programs abroad, one of which is in Johannesburg, another is in India, and then Toronto has a program as well. And so we think that given that urban squash has been around for the last 18 years, that this is the right time for us to look outside of the U.S. borders and see if we can't bring elements of our program model to other countries. Each country will probably look a little bit different, the programs in those countries, but the basic concept will be the same, which is matching squash with education, mentoring, and working with students for a long period of time to try to give them better prospects in life.
That's fantastic. It all sounds amazing, and I couldn't think of a better person to be at the driving seat there at Nucia, Timmy, than yourself, as your experience being a professional singles player as well, connecting to the global community of squash will, I'm sure, have a massive positive effect on everything.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Yeah, wish you luck with all of that.
Thanks. Great to be here.
And thanks for coming into the commentary box.
Yeah. All right. Good luck.
All right. Take care.
Enjoy the game.
In the meantime, while we were catching up on the massive, exciting stuff that's going on in urban squash, we've also got a massive game going on here in the Briggs Cup semi-final stage. Mudge Gould have continued with their momentum from winning the first game, taking a 6-1 lead in the second, and there was one point there where B.GOULD received a ball in the rear end.
I think D.MUDGE did too.
And D.MUDGE, I missed that one. I was so enthralled with what Tim was saying. As you probably guessed, Mr. Challoner has joined us to bring us back up to speed. What did I miss?
Well, basically, it's been a quick fire 7 or 8 rallies, to be honest. It's been unbelievable retrieving and reactions. It has resulted in a couple of people getting a little sting, but nevertheless, the crowd love it.
And D.MUDGE playing a deftly executed trickle drop shot. I think it's called a trickle drop shot. Just invented a new shot in the game.
I suppose you could call it a side front.
It's a little side front drop shot. And pace again, just a bit too much for M.MATHUR to deal with, as the angle of that ball was so perfect, just hitting the side wall where M.MATHUR wanted to strike it. And that stops the rot a little bit with a beautiful forehand reverse corner by Y.BADAN. But still, they're looking at an 8-2 deficit.
Oh,
And
a rare miscue from M.MATHUR in the wheelhouse.
I think he was so surprised that he actually had an easy shot to execute there, that he took his eye off the ball and didn't quite play it as he wanted.
Good call there by Damien. Knew he was stranded.
And there's not been much vocal communication between the players, has there?
Not really, not considering they're covering the court for each other.
Yeah. Partly because they know each other's, as pairs they've been playing together for a few years now, and they know each other's games very well. But sometimes a yell of help is required.
Yeah. I mean, they're struggling there.
Yeah.
They're both in the same corner of the court. Any stage is a disaster.
And you could see there, B.GOULD waited and waited for the ball to come out to the middle more to give him a better angle, and he doesn't miss that opportunity very much to put the ball away out of reach of both Dan and M.MATHUR.
It's a 9-point lead currently.
Basically, Mudge and Gould have absorbed everything that M.MATHUR and Swiss have been able to throw at them. Dominating this second game. A beautiful sway of the hips there, a little head fake, something reminiscent of Mark Challoner. I've seen that before. But kind of pushing the ball down the wall, showing the body going cross court, sending Y.BADAN the wrong way and giving them a 12-2 lead in this second game. Ball going down the middle again. And another racket error from M.MATHUR there, as B.GOULD again plays it down the middle only to his backhand side. Frustration creeping into the game of the number 4 seeds, M.MATHUR and Y.BADAN. The boys in blue. Oh! Ben.GOULD misjudging that completely, Mark, and having to come up with something.
Luckily, he's got long legs and plenty of space in between them.
Just about hit the right ball there.
Oh, a little trickle.
And you get the feel that maybe M.MATHUR took the foot off the pedal for a second there, and the pace went down, and they lost the point. But straight back in, Ben.GOULD with a fantastic forehand drive to a perfect length gives them 11 game balls, 14-5 to take this second game. And
there it is.
Simple error there in the back corner by Manic, giving D.MUDGE and Ben.GOULD the second game 15-5, now leading this first semi-final of the Briggs Cup 2013 by 2 games to love. So we see D.MUDGE and Ben.GOULD on the court early, keeping the ball warm, keeping their mind on the game here, Mark.
Yeah, they're very fired up for this, that's for sure. I think a culmination of a number of things. One, obviously, it's the biggest tournament of the year.
And it's only every 2 years.
Yeah, okay, fair point. So it's the biggest pot at the end of the tournament for the winners, obviously.
What do the winners get, do you know?
That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure, but
I think the winning team gets $24,000
between them.
Yeah, $24,000. So it's a massive purse. Massive purse.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a pretty sweet weekend's work. Right, in anyone's lifestyle, I'd imagine.
So,
I mean, it keeps the girlfriends happy.
That's right, the girlfriends and the wives.
Just before Christmas.
Ben.GOULD getting married just a couple of months ago in New York to his wonderful wife now, Kimberly. And when I looked at his player profile, he mentioned on his interests, on the list of interests, there's architecture, and there's backgammon, and there's music and golf, and Kimberly.
Well, she'll be pleased with that.
She'll be delighted to hear that, exactly. And the win here will maybe Santa will be a little kinder to her.
Let's
in a
hope
couple
so.
of weeks. And of course, Damien and his partner Tony, a wonderful lady as well. So here we are, back to the squash. M.JENSON 2 games to love up.
Oh, they're attacking Damien now instead of they've switched from Ben to Damien. They both wanted a piece of that ball, and Swiss happened to be in the way.
So Y.BADAN and M.MATHUR have got to find something special here to dig themselves out of this two-love deficit.
Fantastic through-wall boast there by Ben. He seems to have timed his form pretty well for this event.
And they're asking for the ball to be checked again.
That's quite funny because actually he hit a great shot. So they're just checking it. I think he probably hit a great shot because the ball's burst.
I think that was Ivan that was asking for it to be checked. And when the ball is checked in professional doubles, the referee is the one that has to check the ball. There's no tampering, there's no ball tampering allowed by the players. They have to just throw the ball upon request, but up to the referee to check it.
It's not cricket, Chris.
Well, you know, I know a couple of the boys might carry a razor blade or something in their pockets, right? The opportune moment to slice a ball and replay the point. We don't mention cricket at this point in the month.
Oh yeah.
Especially as two Brits. Good coverage there by M.MATHUR.
Safety let by D.MUDGE there, would have followed through into Manic, so good call.
D.MUDGE nearly caught sleeping there, but switched on and back in the rally. And a racket error from Y.BADAN there at the back of the court, trying a reverse from his, from the middle of the court, backhand side.
I mean, if you think about it, they really, M.JENSON aren't giving anything away right now, so it seems as though what do you have to do to try and squeeze errors out of them, or to earn some points? So I think Swiss felt as though he had to go a little lower then and commit to a more risky shot, and that time it didn't pay off. And
that's exactly what he did just then as well, Mark, with the forehand, simple forehand drive into the middle of the tin.
Yeah.
And points so hard to win against M.JENSON that you really can't afford to give any of them away. Stating the obvious.
Yeah. But it's the build of pressure where that you're forced into trying something else, trying something more, and at that point you just go too low, or the margin of error is too small.
The pressure that you put on yourself increases as the score gets closer to the end. And there is a great reply from M.MATHUR, the back left trickle boast to the front, catching both D.MUDGE and B.GOULD by surprise. So they're pretty much covering everything that has been thrown at them at the moment, aren't they, M.JENSON? Oh!
I'm not quite sure how that fitted in between all of the players there, to be honest, onto the side.
B.GOULD giving a little round of applause there, and somehow Damien threaded that between Ivan's ear, Ben's hair locks, and then under Manic's shoelaces. Incredible reverse. Again, threatening attack in the middle of the court. Bit of encouragement there from D.MUDGE to get Gouldy up the court. Just that extra octave in the noise. Manic hits the ball so hard.
He has to let that.
And
he asked for a layup because I think he clipped Damien's feet.
And the let has been reinstated. So Mudge and Gould taking a 4-2 lead in the third game, leading by 2 games to love.
So the SDA tour, Chris, it seems to have taken on a bit more of a resurgence over the last 18 months or so, mainly due to some of the players involved, right? Namely Ben. Ben's taken on quite a dominant role in terms of persevering a more professional game.
Yeah, but Ben is one of the players on the SDA tour board. Alongside Graham Bassett and Greg MacArthur, and there's a fantastic collection of business people and squash lovers that are also on that board.
Yeah.
And the circuit has grown over the last 2 years. I think there's more tournaments this year than there ever has been, and we have over $500,000 of prize money for the tour this year, which is all very positive stuff.
Yeah, really healthy situation for the tour to be in, especially such an early stage, really. I mean, there's a lot of work been put in by the chairman, Kevin Lusak.
Yeah, we should definitely mention Kevin, actually. He's a massive supporter of the game and massive player of the game as well. He lives and resides in New York and plays at the Racket and Tennis Club there. I know from Ben Gould being the professional there as well that Kevin will stand in and fill in matches whenever there's one available, often 2 or 3 a day, but from what I hear.
Yeah.
And at the moment he would have been here tonight, but we're all thinking of him as he had a terrible incident a couple of days ago with a stroke and is recovering in hospital right now. So I'm pretty sure he's watching. And big hello to you, Kevin, out there. And
yeah, I hope you sat up in bed watching this and enjoying the squash, even though you can't be here right now. But we all appreciate all the work that you've done for the SDA Tour, and long may it continue.
Absolutely. I mean, I mentioned to him last week that perhaps he'd join me in the commentary box, and this is a pretty extreme way to avoid that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but
we wish him well, though.
Yes.
Oh, got him. So that was a little crafty little flick by Ben just to try and make sure he got the ball up, but Swiss happened to be stood in the firing line. Luckily it wasn't one of the shots that Ben would wind up on and hit at tremendous pace.
Just a little flick.
Nevertheless, it would sting a little bit.
Pretty good. 3 of the 4 have now been struck by the ball in this match.
I mean, they're all friends off the court.
But in all seriousness here now, Mudge and Gould leading 6-5, and Manic and Ivan doing a little bit better in this game.
Yeah, it seemed to be... they've hit a couple of winners, actually.
Some good winners. The intensity, I think the intensity's gone down a little bit as well. It's not quite as much thrashing around, but they need to obviously continue that and keep the errors out of their game to try and wait for the opportunity to go for some winners.
Ben's lobs have definitely been pretty effective today, stretching Manic. He's having to jump for them every time, so. And then he forces the racket error there, driving the ball pretty directly into the sidewall where Manic wanted to take the volley.
And that's been really a theme for the whole match here, that the variation of pace and angle that Mudge and Gould have thrown at Manic and Ivan. They've just not been able to deal with that and kind of
contain it
and give something back as well. They've literally been trying to absorb, and unfortunately for them, not succeeding.
Oh, great reaction by Ben. Stood in the right position. Manic didn't get the ball wide enough around him, and he's able to react, just placing the ball really for the first time in a while into the front left.
Damien very happy with that too, giving him a fist pump, giving his partner some encouragement.
He actually moved out of the way there, I think. Swiss was definitely being cautious.
Yeah, last minute move, but Ivan playing it safely. Great reactions from Y.BADAN there to volley that, put it back defensively, but to no avail. As again the opportunity at the front of the court for B.GOULD to play that counter drop, dropping it into the nick, taking them another point closer to a final berth. Score now 9-5.
Outrageous reactions there. Poor coverage. Ben just dived into the back corner because he knew the ball was going back left.
And just when you think that Manic and Y.BADAN have actually got an opportunity to win the point, even then B.GOULD finds some magic.
Swiss just gives a cheap point away again, and just slight lack of concentration there. Probably a little dejected from the previous rally.
M.MATHUR there, throwing the whole of his body airborne.
I mean, he's 6'4" and weighs about 230 pounds. He's still flying through the air.
It just shows how important every single point is to these Australians, the #1 seeds. Not giving their opponents 1 inch.
Paul just recovering there. Oh, Swiss. Backhand error.
I think Ivan might have actually hit the ball into Manic's back there as he was trying to poke it up to the front wall. But regardless, there's another point.
Last thing on is a poke in the back. Oh, he's just squeezing the errors now. Just wanted to roll that one out.
So very quickly, 6 points have gone by, and from looking at as a close third game, Mudge and Gould have opened up a massive lead, 13-5.
Just hammering it around the angles. Great shot down the middle there by Manic.
Happy that he's able to win a point at the moment, and you know, using that pace.
Hopefully he's thinking he's broken the flow of this the last run of points, to be honest.
Well, there's
a rare error.
Yeah, first mistake
Damien.
from M.MATHUR in a little while. But is this too much too late, or too little too late? And another easy racket error there from M.MATHUR. It creates the first of potentially 8 match points for Mudge and Gould.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Deft forehand volley drop into the net. Brings the 15th point to B.GOULD and D.MUDGE. They take the match 3 games to love and win their place in the final tomorrow, winning 15-9, 15-5, 15-7 over a dejected M.MATHUR and Y.BADAN. So the next match on will be following on almost immediately, the second of the semi-finals between M.JENSON and P.QUICK, the number 3 seeds, and P.PRICE and C.LEACH, the number 2 seeds. We'll be back with you in a couple of minutes. Well, welcome back to the Appomattox Club, Rye, New York, for the second semi-final of the 2013 Briggs Cup. The guys on court right now, M.JENSON and P.QUICK, the number 3 seeds, playing P.PRICE and C.LEACH, the number 2 seeds. Sitting next to me, very special guy in the commentary box, just off court, and the number 1 seeds, D.MUDGE.
Thanks very much, Chris.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Really excited to have you in the commentary box, having just watched you play, because I know, viewers out there would love to hear from the horse's mouth, as it were, how you felt the match went.
Yeah, well, I think it was pretty solid.
Yeah.
I thought Ben played really well. With that team, they've got some really strong, strengths within their games, and I think it's very important to sort of figure out where not to hit the ball, basically. And I think Ben did an exceptional job with that. I was very, very impressed with his play. And I just sort of hung in there and did what I could, with the moments that I had.
Right, it was an impressive performance, and I was sitting here with Mark Challoner watching, and it seemed like you were attacking the middle of the court a lot more than maybe you have done against other players, knowing Manic's got an incredibly powerful forehand.
Yeah. Good observation there, Chris. I think Manic's forehand is one of the better, if not the best forehand, if you put it in his wheelhouse. So I think it's very important to sort of try and work around that. And I think his backhand, obviously, isn't as strong as his forehand. So you try and sort of have some exposure there, and same with Swiss. I think Swiss's forehand is pretty decent, and maybe get a few more opportunities on his backhand. So try and expose that's a weakness rather than hitting to the strengths.
Right, and of course for both of them, they're both backhands in the middle of the court, whereas your forehand's in the middle of the court.
Correct. Yeah, that's actually like one of the few advantages of a right-handed player playing the left wall as opposed to a left-handed player playing the left wall. They've definitely got some strengths. Especially up high. It's difficult for a right-hander to hit those overheads hard anyway, but they can come in on the forehand. So there's a plus and minus there.
Right, like the inside-out shot.
Correct, which is also pretty deadly against Manic, because if you don't hit it well, it sort of comes to his forehand, and he's pretty good up there. He moves very well, and he's got a very quick racket speed to sort of go short or go deep.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks so much for coming into the commentary box after still sweating from the match. Much appreciated. And we'll start to look at this match now. In the blue, we have M.JENSON on the left wall and P.QUICK on the right wall. And in the dark, we have C.LEACH on the right wall, P.PRICE on the left wall. This is the first point, the first game, the second semi-final, the Briggs Cup 2013. Normally when I've got someone in the commentary box, Damien, I ask them to give me a prediction.
Well, I actually didn't play the tournament in Philadelphia last weekend, and I think these guys played each other in the semi-finals. And I believe Jensen Quick had several match balls against Price and Leach, but couldn't capitalise. So I think they're going to be very, very hungry to try and execute that this time around. So it's tough to say. Obviously, Price and Leach are a very good team, but given last weekend's sort of efforts, I might maybe go Jensen Quick here.
I think it might be their turn. That's right. I think there was 5 match balls that they actually failed to convert any of them. So, an exciting prospect in store here. Steady start from both teams here. A couple of lets called already, feeling each other out, as it were. What, if you were on the court there, Damien, what would you be looking for if you were Matt Jensen and Preston Quick?
Well, I think both Paul and Clive hit the ball very well, and they shoot and move the ball very well. And I think their movement, that you can expose that, but you obviously need to play some squash and have good shot selection choices, to expose that. So you'd be trying to expose the movement as much as possible.
I always thought that Paul Price is the more dangerous of the two when the ball's kind of loose or in the middle of the court.
Yep.
And a great counter punch there from Preston Quick as Paul Price tries a little reverse, but Preston read it and responded with a fantastic reverse himself, taking him to a 3-1 lead in this first game. An unbelievable backhand cross-court drop from Paul Price, and that's the danger, Damien. If you don't put the ball away at the front and the opponent gets up there, it just creates an opening that any decent player is going to really punish.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. Obviously, the length of the court exposes movement, so you better hit the ball very crisp and at the right time, not to expose yourself or your partner going forward. So it's a very fine line with that.
That's right. The doubles court here being 40 foot long as opposed to the regular singles court that everyone knows around the world, which is only 32 foot long. So it's a significantly longer court.
Is it 40? I thought it might have been 50 actually.
50?
Yeah, I think it's 53.
Oh, I'm going to get back to Google. 40, 50 feet, what's the difference?
What's 10 foot between men?
Exactly. So with that creativity from Paul Price, it brings the score back to 3-all in the first game. And a stroke given there. Paul Price unable to clear the ball at the front left, having played a loose and weak lob. Matt Jensen was ready to hit that, and I'm sure Paul wouldn't want him to hit that.
I think that was quite a good case right there, of exposing movement. He was a little bit off balance when he got to the ball, and I think that's sort of if they are to win, it's that kind of those kind of plays and those kind of shot selections that they have to be doing more of.
Just to keep trying to expose that. Quite a few lets being called here as the players kind of getting used to the speed of the court. What's the court like at the moment, Damien?
I really like this court a lot. There's a few different types of courts with the floors. This is with the walls. This is a plaster wall court, which generally can be a little bit faster, depending on the temperature inside. But I think this is a really good court because you can play a slow game, you can play a fast game. Pace works really well, and shot making works really well. So I think it's sort of it's really good for every type of play, both offensively and defensively.
Great. So, a somewhat cagey rally, which Clive Leach took control of there, moving the ball and then forcing an error from Matt Jensen, bringing the score back to 4-all. Jensen calling his ball bounce twice there as Paul Price plays a nice backhand cross-court volley nick. So if you're in Clive Leach and Paul Price's shoes and you're playing these guys, what would your focus be?
I would say Matt's most probably more of the shot maker of the team, and his movements, and slash reading of the games a little bit better. So I'd mention sort of go after Preston Quick a little more, but he is very, very deadly. If you try and lob it over his head, he has got a very good front side, where if he starts seeing it well, he can lay a lot of balls down. The team is very balanced, so it's tough to really go after one specific person. I think you just play a very all-round game, work on your length, don't go short too soon, and just wait for your openings when they're there. Yeah, Matt's been playing doubles for a good decade now, as is Preston. So they're both very experienced players and know exactly what's going on the court.
There's a lot of Aussies over in the States now, and they're playing doubles, having kind of begun their squash playing singles, and transitioned to the doubles game very well.
I think it's a game that isn't quite as intense as singles is professionally, and so guys can sort of play a little bit later in their years, which is obviously a great thing for most of these squash players, because everyone loves playing squash. Everyone loves competing at the highest level, and we sort of feel that we've all been given a second chance to sort of compete at a later stage in life. Not saying that you don't have to be fit and strong, because you can, as you see, you can have some 2-hour matches here and play like several pro-ams, and you can be on court for 10 or 12 hours over a 2 or 3 day period. So you obviously have to be in quite good shape, both cardio and strength-wise.
That's right. It's an incredibly busy weekend. I mean, there's 5 other competitions going on, as well as the Briggs Cup SDA Pro event that we're looking at here. And with the Pro-Am matches, I believe there's 81 matches over the weekend on the 2 courts here at the Apple Amis Club, and then Westchester Country Club just down the road has given their course. So loads of squash going on, and there's only so many of the pros that fill all of these draws. It's a pretty tiring weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always sort of given doubles the respect that I feel it deserves, and always treated it very seriously. Knowing what it takes out of your body to sort of play to the end every Sunday, both pro-am and pros. I don't know if that's given me an edge over my years or not, but it's definitely it's something that I've taken quite seriously if I'm out here competing.
Right. So you're training every day and doing some good groundwork in between the tournaments.
Yeah, right, correct. Most probably more off-season, summertimes, because our schedules are so busy. Sometimes we don't have a day off, either at work at the university club or playing on the tour. So it's tough for your body to recover. If you're going to be training so hard during the competition, so I try and do a bulk of my training, over the summer months, and and sort of ease off, and just do some maintenance during the season.
Because practically every weekend you're competing.
Yeah. It's a very busy but a very good schedule.
So after 10 minutes of play now, Jensen and Quick have got their nose ahead. 9-6.
That's a great shot.
As you were saying, Damien, Matt's movement is very good. He's very quick, and just demonstrating that there on the ball, very quick to the front, and then countering with a lovely reverse.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of game plan which these guys have to execute, because both Price and Leach tend to sort of dictate the rallies by engaging angles and pushing in balls to the front left and front right. And they tend to do it when they're a little bit further back. So if you're quick enough and you can read the game, and you've obviously got to be able to counter with another offense, you can get some exposure there.
Well, it's paying off so far. Now Matt Jensen and Preston Quick, and there it is again. Perfectly timed for you, Damien, just to show what you're talking about. Taking them to 12-7. And the 3-referee system being used here today. The 3 players that were on court just before refereeing, and the majority decision stands when a decision is made.
That was a pretty good serve by Price there. Little hard serve with a dead nick off the back wall.
The perfect length.
What do they call it? The Mexican.
the perfect Mexican length. I don't know why that is. That because the courts are so hot there that when you hit it, you can't actually make it bounce before the back wall.
And especially the only way you can make a winner, maybe in Mexico.
That's probably true. So getting towards the business end of this game, first game of the second semi-final.
A momentum swing there. There's, I think, 3 or 4 points lost consecutively, and fairly quick concession by Jensen and Quick.
And they may have sensed that because they were just having a little chat there as well to perhaps tweak their game plan to try and shift that momentum again.
Yeah, doubles is, I really haven't come across another sport where the momentum swings are so quick and can be so large. You can have 5 to 7 to 8 point swings on a professional level, which is quite astronomical. That's exactly what's going on here. 4 or 5 point swing in less than 2 minutes.
And suddenly, the momentum, as you say, the momentum is with Price and Leach, as they creeping back to 11-12 in this first game. Both teams using high angles to get the ball to the back of the court, and getting a racket error from M.JENSON, and the momentum continues with Price and Leach, who draw back to 12-all.
They were taking a little more time again to try and break the rallies up, and try and break the momentum up. Price went for an inside-out forehand volley, just hit the tin.
Crucial stage to do that. Then he relies on his partner to bring the scores back to 13-all. A fantastic forehand flattened there by Clive Leach from the service. 2 quick points. Clive Leach, a familiar pose there. See a lot of his face at the camera these days. Sorry, Clive, I'm joking. Frustrated there because he had an opportunity there to hit a winning drive down the wall, didn't he, Damien? But the Preston couldn't get out of the way quick enough. Players well in front of the mid-court line there, as you can see from that camera angle.
Oh, great shot there. Really good.
That's a fantastic backhand volley boast into the nick there from M.JENSON that gives them game ball. Of the points going up again, which you'd expect at this stage. And the pressure's off with a let ball. Ball going past Preston Quick's feet there, and Clive Leach unable to take a swing.
14-13.
Second attempt for a game ball.
Towards the end of the game, there's 3 consecutive lets. The guys are a little bit nervous, both to win and not to lose.
So Paul Price taking the let there, a little bit frustrated. Well, that was close to Paul Price there. I thought it might have been a stroke, but fourth attempt at the game ball.
Oh.
You see that in replay?
Oh, wow. Wow. Interesting there. What do you think happened there, Chris?
It did look like Clive clipped the back wall. Maybe we'll ask him afterwards, but a lead is being played. And with 3 players refereeing, I'd give them the benefit of the doubt. I'd give Clive the benefit of the doubt there. And they force the error from Preston Quick with the drive down the middle of the court to his backhand. So it's sudden death. It's 14-all in the first game. Winner of this point will take the first game.
How important do you think the first game in these kind of matches are, Chris?
I always love coming off the court being 1-love up, but it doesn't happen enough. It seems like I'm coming back from 2-love down a lot these days.
Well, you do like working hard.
Get my money's worth. Clive taking the pressure off again, asking for a let. So who is going to keep the momentum and bring that into the second game? 14-all. Words of encouragement right in the middle of the rally there. And a very unexpected, uncharacteristic error from M.JENSON, who had a great opportunity there with the forehand reverse. But that means that Price and Leach take the first game in this second semi-final, and they lead 1-0. So here we are, the second game. Price and Leach serving. Second semi-final, a place against D.MUDGE and B.GOULD at stake in the final tomorrow night.
Yes, first serve.
Matt just questioning whether that drive was up or not. So you see any tweaks that either side might want to make after the first game with their tactics, Damien?
I think Jensen, who normally, as I said, he normally tries to move the ball around and either counter offense or create offense. I think when he moves the ball around, he'll yes, he'll do it in a way where it's not so fine, but it's sort of working more on their movement rather than trying to maybe hit a winner, which is obviously what he tried to do at game point. I think that a lot of people don't maybe understand great shot there by Price. With doubles is, even though it's very much of a shot maker's game, but it's still a lot to do with positioning and movement, and that's a very vital part of it. And I think a lot of people get caught up in trying to hit like sort of outright flashy winners, which it's very difficult to control the ball. This hard ball on a court that's so long and so wide, consistently, like the way you think you can. So you need to always have margins for error rather than trying to go so fine all the time. So that's my sort of little bit of advice to the guys who lost that first game.
Just that tiny bit more patience for the perfect opportunity to play the shots that they want to play.
Another great shot there by Price.
So Paul Price having a little purple patch here with a couple of great shots to keep their nose ahead, 3-2 in the second game. And fantastic angle there. Again, Paul Price, he's on fire at the moment, winning the first 3 of the first 4 points for his team in the second game, exposing Leach and Jensen being out of position. And there's Matt Jensen, had the whole court and used tremendous pace to get the ball past Clive Leach's racket.
Great shot.
And that incredible change of pace there from Paul Price after pounding Matt Jensen with the ball to the back left, to then deftly touch the drop shot into the front left. And of course, when you're going for so many shots, you're going to make a couple of errors, and that's a perfect example there with Paul Price just trying a little bit too much.
I think it's very important. The whole winner or sort of unforced error ratio. Obviously, if that gets lopsided from the unforced error standpoint compared to the winner standpoint, it's maybe not the greatest thing. But, obviously, if you can have more winners than unforced error, it works out well.
Another error from Paul Price brings the scores back to 5-all in this second game.
Another unforced error there.
5-6.
So neither side really taking advantage of the other's errors because they're both making them.
That's a good angle.
Great angle and too much pace. Again, the ball getting behind Clive Leach's racket. Good communication there from M.JENSON. Great hands from P.PRICE to get their team again 7-6 up, but no one really taking advantage of the situation here, Damien. It's error-ridden at the moment.
Yeah, no one's really developed any kind of momentum right now. It's sort of been a little bit back and forth. Maybe we'll see one of those large momentum swings like we did in the first game. That's a great shot by Quick there. Little backhand counter off Price's offense.
Great shot there from Leach, and great communication. There's a lot of talking going on between the two. You know, both teams are talking a lot here, and I noticed that with you and Ben as well. A lot of encouragement, but also a lot of communication in the rallies. And how important is that? Could you play, with earplugs on?
Everyone sort of, has sort of asked me, how do you become successful at doubles? And I think I completely believe that team chemistry and communication are the two biggest things in dubs. If you have two exceptional individual players playing doubles as a team, they will not be nearly as successful as you will having two mediocre players with very good team chemistry and very good communication to be backing each other up, getting each other out of tough spots, when someone feels, as if they're not maybe playing well, to pick them up and, so forth and so on. Well, I think all those things over a match of doubles is more important, than any one player.
Well, Preston Quick getting tangled up there in Clive Leach's feet. Looks like he's okay.
10-7, right?
Obviously, with 4 people on the court, it's inevitable that there's going to be a few bumps and contact on the way. But he's good.
All right, 9-7 left. Oh, no. That wasn't a let. You went the wrong way. That's the call. 9-7 on the left.
And a let ball has been given. Despite the fact that 3 players have, as the referees have made the call, it's still worth questioning by Mr. Leach.
Change sides mid-rally. Now they're back.
Oh, fantastic rally. Both teams there trying to expose openings but not succeeding until that amazing reverse by P.PRICE again, who's found a little purple patch. If he can sustain that and not make the errors that he's done earlier in the game, then perhaps Price and Leach can consolidate this 10-7 lead in the second game. So coming towards the, I like to say, the business end of the game here, Damien. Price and Leach are getting a nice lead now, 11-7, but they can't really sit back. But they sure would like a 2-love lead, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And after some incredible racket skill there, the what looked like the most simple of shots there, P.PRICE again makes a mistake and lets Jensen and Quick collect another point.
Nice reverse there by Leach.
8-12.
And again, another winner from P.PRICE. Price and Leach creep closer to that 2-game-to-love lead that they would so dearly enjoy, 13-8. Another unforced error from Preston Quick there gives Price and Leach 14-8 game ball for a 2-love lead. And that's it. P.PRICE concluding the game with a forehand cross-court volley nick, leaving Jensen and Quick a two-game deficit. So Price and Leach lead 2-games-to-love. So as we prepare for the third game, P.PRICE and C.LEACH leading 2 games to love, looking at their path through to the final. In the first round they took out Dylan Patterson and Mike Ferreira from New York, both New York players, in 3 games, and then had a 3-love win against the surprise quarterfinalists, Fred Reed and Thomas Brinkman, who Canadian out of Toronto, beat the number 7 seeds, John Russell and Raj Nanda, and that puts P.PRICE and C.LEACH in this position. M.JENSON, Preston Quick, their route began against Chris Callis in Pennsylvania and Basit Chowdhury, a Pakistani based in New York, and they won that game 3-love. And then yesterday in the quarterfinals defeated Johnny Smith and Greg Park 3 games to 1 after, as we saw, talking about momentum, Damien, they were some 14-7 up in the first game, I believe, yesterday, and lost that first game. Big momentum swing, but then closed out in 4 games to take them to this position. So here we are, third game, Price and Leach holding 2. The pleasure of joining you in the final tomorrow. And Clive Leach just taking the pace off the ball. They're not really difficult shot, kept it simple and put it short to the front right, where both M.JENSON and Clive and Preston Quick were exposed. And again, P.PRICE showing that the soft shot to the front of the court as a counter-attack is really a great shot to play, especially once the other 2 have got to cover the whole court. Question here about the service.
First serve.
Damien, I've got you in the commentary box here at the moment, and you know, just reflecting on your experience and the 10 years or so you've been on the Pro Tour now.
I think it's about 15 now.
15 years, is it?
Unfortunately.
I'm a youngster at, how old are you now? 37?
37, yeah.
So there's been a couple of incredible efforts. You know, I know that you were undefeated for, well, and your career's still going, but you've been undefeated in 4 seasons of play, 3 of them with Gary Waite and 1 with Ben Gould in 2010, 2011. Maybe one of your top 3 wins, one tournament that's meant the most or memorable because of a particular challenge, maybe over the course of your career.
I would think some of my 3 best moments. So I've been playing doubles for 15 years, and 8 of those have been on the right wall and 7 have been on the left. And changing from the right wall to the left wall was a big adjustment for me. And it was something that I didn't even think I could even do, but I wanted to give it a go and challenge myself and see how it would pan out. So I think my very first win on the left wall was pretty memorable for me. I was playing the US Pro down in Wilmington, Delaware, and I was playing with Victor Berg, and I think it was maybe our second tournament together. And won on the left wall, which felt kind of nice, because I didn't really know if I could ever win on the left wall, because it's such a different game from a right-hander's perspective. And spending 8 years on the right and then changing basically cold turkey was a big adjustment. So I felt kind of proud of myself to sort of be able to pulled that one off.
And that is an impressive feat. I know, you know, most of the pros that we see playing are always specialising on one wall, so to have been able to do that must have been satisfying.
You know, thanks, yeah. And I think a tournament that's meant a lot to me was the Kellner Cup in New York, which runs at the University Club, the Racket Tennis, and the Union Club. And myself and Victor played against P.PRICE and B.GOULD, my current partner now. And we must have had on a 2.5 hour, 2 hour 40, 5-game match. In front of a lot of home members and stuff, and that was pretty satisfying. Just in that setting, against that team, and in front of the members, was kind of nice. So I really enjoyed that win. And maybe like my third one, maybe. It was at the Heights Casino in Brooklyn. It's been a very special tournament for me. I've been fortunate enough to win 12 of those consecutively, which I was kind of happy with.
That's a good collection of gold paint there.
And there was one time when I was playing with Victor again, actually, and we're playing against Price and Gould, and we were I think 2-2 or 2-1 up maybe. And we're maybe 13-8 up, somewhere around there, and Victor rolled his ankle. And so we had to somehow try and muster through this, and Victor on one leg, and he somehow pulled off 2 ridiculous winners, literally hovering around on one leg. So that was a pretty satisfying win, given the situation that unfolded later in the match.
And that can be how a pro-am match is played at times, isn't it? When your partner can't move much, so you plant them in one place on the court. Victor, you're going to play there, and then you're covering the rest of it.
Yeah, and Victor's so talented, with the racket, that when he focuses, he just he can obviously put them all down from anywhere. So.
Brilliant. Well, there another fantastic forehand volley kill. Cross-court nick there from Preston Quick. And the score's back to 6-all in this third game. Just get the feeling that Clive Leach is just playing very, very steady, keeping the game under control on the right wall, and then Paul is being quite creative on the left, and Preston and Matt have not found a way to break that up sufficiently to get to actually get any decent leads.
Right. Yeah, if you don't move Price and Leach off the red line, like you got there. If you don't move Price and Leach off the red line, and expose their movement, their hands are very good, and they can dictate play more. So they definitely, Jensen and Quick need to find a way to get them moving front back a little bit more, and sort of try and get some exposure there.
They need to get on it because the points are running away, and that inside-out forehand reverse from P.PRICE brings them an 8-6 lead and 2 games to love. You can just sense that Preston going up to wipe the front wall, trying to break the rhythm. Might even have a chat with Matt here. And this is a very important time for them.
9-6.
If they want to stay in this match.
Out of quarter, second serve.
Sloppy unforced error there by Quick.
And Great use of the middle of the court there, the pace towards the middle, forcing Preston to play a backhand. During that era, giving Price and Leach a 10-6 lead.
Yes, let. 10-6.
And there's quite a lot of lets here, Damien, breaking up the game. It seems to be playing into the advantage of Paul Price and Clive Leach.
Side out.
Yeah,
7-10.
Jensen and Quick, need to change a couple things up here, in order to get back in this match.
Good injection of pace there from Preston Quick. Forehand volley into the nick again. That's one of his strongest areas of his game. Reducing the deficit to 8-10. At a pretty important time.
Down. Pickup is not good. What?
Big call there.
9-10. Left side.
Well, the ball that Paul Price picked up there, the penultimate ball of the rally, has been called down by the referees. 3 of them there. They've all got good eyes, Damien. I'm pretty sure that it was probably a double bounce if they saw it and they called it like that. But that brings the points to 9-10.
Slight little momentum swing here.
Some words of encouragement there from Clive, who probably realises Paul is frustrated by that call.
Yes, let. 9-10.
And a fantastic
Calls no let.
fantastic drive down the middle of the court there by Matt Jensen. No let, brings the scores back to level, 10-all.
Interesting here. You can get a little sense here now. Jensen and Quick have a little jump in their step. Just see the energy sort of building with these guys now. Winning, I think, 4 points straight now. This is exactly how doubles goes. Momentum swings, energy changes.
And they'll be wanting this to continue all the way through to the end of this game, if possible. Oh, and they both left it for each other there, and unfortunately, Paul Price couldn't get to the back to dig it out the corner. So lack of communication there, and suddenly it's 5 points in a row that Jensen and Quick have won, and now they're 12-10 ahead. So the match is not over by any means.
No let.
Well, there's a couple of big calls going down here towards the end of the game.
Side out. 11-12.
Wow.
Oh, you did. Matt left. 12-11.
So both teams resetting here, mentally getting ready for a couple of big points. 12-11, the third game. Price and Leach with that two-game cushion.
Down. Yes, let. 12-11.
Fantastic cross-court volley nick from Clive Leach. Breaks that little run of Jensen and Quick's. Pulls the scores back to 12-all. fist pump from Paul Price there. Such a crucial stage. He just
Big point. Wow.
kind of waved his racket at the ball as it was almost dead in the back left. Created an incredible boast.
Here's another little mini momentum swing. These guys have done 3 points in a row now.
And an error which Paul Price announces to the world that was so bad. He has to compose himself now. A big point here, 13 all. Paul Price lets the ball go there to take the pressure off him in the rally. And then Leach does the same. Oh, and a miss there. Good angle from Clive Leach on the side wall, but Jensen will be really upset with himself there.
Crucial error at that stage of the game.
So we have their first match ball for a place in the final. And a beautiful cross court into the nick there by Preston Quick. Brings the scores level, 14-all, tie break, game ball, match ball.
Leach is taking some time here.
A huge point.
Tension.
Loose ball to the middle. Paul Price wasn't going to move out the way of that. 14-all, game ball, match ball.
The tension increases. Leach is taking his time.
And that's a fantastic shot down the middle of the court to the perfect length for Clive Leach and Paul Price to clinch the third game, 15-14, and a place in the final of the 2013 Briggs Cup against D.MUDGE and B.GOULD tomorrow at 8 p.m. And here we are, we see Clive Leach, Paul Price take the win, 15-14, 15-8, 15-14. Damien, thank you very much for coming, being in the commentary box, and wish you the best for the match tomorrow.
Well, thanks for having me, Chris. Much appreciated.
Good job.
All right, man.